Hello, folks in modeling world. I'm John Lanning with IPMS for Crook, back here again with another inbox review. This is for a brand new kit that was released about a month ago from a small manufacturer by the name of LF Models out in the Czech Republic. This review is going to be on the Westland Lynx helicopter in 72nd scale. So, anyway, at this particular point, there's not very many model kits in 72nd scale of the Wasp or, the sister aircraft, the Scout. Airfix released the Scout years ago. Never released the Wasp, as far as I know. I haven't been able to find any information on it at all whatsoever. Fujimi did release a 48/50 scale Wasp, which every once in a while sees the light of day. But when it comes to 72nd scale Wasps, there's been one kit that I'm aware of that's no longer in production. It's from an outfit known as Air Graphic Models out in the UK. They did have a limited production Wasp, which is no longer available right now. And Freightdog announced that they were going to release a cast resin kit of the Wasp. Now, originally they stated last month it was going to be released early May. It hasn't been released yet. There's no information coming forward as to why. Possibly because it's getting molded out by CMK in the Czech Republic, so they probably don't have parts ready as of yet. Anyway, this is the only kit that I'm aware of that is just a plastic kit. So until at least we see the Freightdog kit come out, we're not really sure which one would be a better kit. Anyway, this is the only full kit out in the market right now. There are some conversion sets. One of them is from Air Graphic Models, and this is the one right here. This is the conversion kit for Air Graphic. It's for the Westland Wasp or Westland Scout helicopter. Sorry, it's basically the part specific to convert the Scout into the Wasp. However, no weapons or anything of the sort. It's all cast resin. So you have that. So anyway, this is the only kit, and let's dive into the history of the Wasp. Anyway, as I stated, basically it's a further development of the Westland Scout helicopter. This one was specifically designed for the Royal Navy in order to operate off of small frigates and ships that have limited deck space, specifically for the Type 12 frigates that were entering Royal Navy service. The prototype first flew in 1958. It entered service with the Royal Navy in 1962. And a total of 98 were built for the Royal Navy. The Royal Navy officially retired the type in 1988. It did see export success. It was exported to 6 other countries: Brazil, Indonesia, Malaysia, South Africa, the Netherlands, and New Zealand. New Zealand was the last nation to retire the type from service in 1998. The aircraft doesn't have a huge notable military, or I should say combat record, although it was used quite extensively in the Falklands War. The most notable mission was the attack by Westland Wasps from HMS Plymouth and HMS Endurance on the Argentine submarine Santa Fe, hitting it with AS-12 missiles, causing enough damage to keep it from submerging and escaping from Gretviken Harbor in South Georgia. The sub eventually grounded and was captured by British forces. So anyway, the aircraft, it's not a complete hunter-killer. It's more of a weapons platform designed to get torpedoes to a specific target and dropped. It did not have a sonar, and in order to affect its anti-submarine mission, it would have to be guided by either the ship or another helicopter with a sonar to go where it needs to go in order to drop its Mark 46 torpedoes. Now, the only weapons that it carried was a pair of Mark 46 torpedoes, or SS-11 missiles or AS-12 missiles, which are basically they're anti-tank missiles, so that the aircraft had a limited anti-shipping role, and also door guns if it needed. Other than that, though, it was just basically a light helicopter that was designed just to drop torpedoes. So anyway, let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and take a look at the kit. Okay, so here we go. The kit has been unboxed and it comes with the following. It comes with a single clue sprue, with of course the windows and the doors. It comes with 5 gray sprues. The first sprue comes with the rotors and the rear fuselages, and basically this kit can either make the Wasp or the Scout. They did release the Scout kit at the same time as this kit as well, and basically most of the frames are the same, so you can build either aircraft from the same kit. But anyway, this is the specific tail boom for the Wasp. For the fuselage, the floor, the top decking for the engine. Basically, this is the engine and the interior of the aircraft. The wheels for the Wasp specific. Seats. More support frames for the landing gear and everything else. Some more stuff for the interior. AS-12 missile launchers. Okay, more parts, more engine stuff right here. For the interior, the control panel in the interior. The flotation bags are mounted above the doors. Of course, the tail rotor. These are supposed to be litters for the Scout version. And then more stuff for, for the landing gear and all that. And then we have these right here, 3D printed parts. It won't get close enough for that. But anyway, these mount on the top of the flotation canisters. Okay. Of course, we have the decals right here. Very nice. Well in register. No smears. For 4 different aircraft, 2 Royal Navy, 1 Dutch Navy, and 1 New Zealand Navy. And then here's the instruction sheet. So anyway, the instruction sheet is a little bit different from what we've seen in the past. So you notice right here, you got your sprue map right here, your decal description right here. Color callouts are an AK, which is something new. Being that this kit is specifically designed for the European market, it's not a surprise. But with AK becoming one of the premier model paint manufacturers in UK and Europe, this shouldn't be too much of a surprise. So anyway, and then these are the kit instructions. Much different from the black and white we used to see, black and white drawings that is. So they're more like 3D renderings, all of them numbered. Now, one thing I did notice here too, let me find it here, because I did find some issues concerning some of the parts and with the instructions. Okay, this is part 21 right here. Okay, this is where your rear landing gear was going to be mounted on the Wasp version right here. Okay, these are part 21. Now, if you look at the picture here, you see it's got 3 indentations. And of course, those indentations is where your landing gear is going to be mounting onto the fuselage and onto this right here. Unfortunately, it looks like, when they press the kit here, it looks like they've been removed, because you don't see any of those holes here, and I don't think you'll be able to see it with this, but all those holes are covered up. So that's going to be a bit of an issue. Another thing I did find with these spruce right here, there is some flash on them. See a little bit right here. See inside of this window right here, a little bit of flash. And then, let me go to the next page here for the front landing gear. Okay, right here is where your front landing gear is supposed to be mounted, which would be on your fuselage right here, somewhere in this area. The only problem is that there's no true indication exactly where it mounts. I got to give them credit, though. They did give you plenty of views of the undercarriage, but the only problem is that there's no guide holes for them. I mean, it's a possibility that maybe this right here, which is an outlined circle, possibly, I don't know. Probably get a chance to try to build it. Might be able to figure that one out. But there's no guide holes at all for this. So all this is going to be butt connected, butt jointed, which is going to cause some issues. It's going to cause some alignment issues, and it's also caused some issues for like stability, so to speak. And also, butt joints are not very strong. So those would probably be some issues down the road while building this kit with the landing gear. So that's something to be looking out for. My suggestion is do some test fitting, and then if you got a little key vise or something like that, when you know exactly where the landing gear is going to go, kind of like drill a little hole or something like that, just something to where the gear can actually mount into, so that it's not a butt connection. So, and then we have more of the instructions right here, more of the engine decking. Now, there are some pinholes for mounting the stuff, the engine parts on here. There's some pinholes for the cockpit. So that's not the issue here. The issue is going to be your landing gear. Okay, and of course now you got the rest of your engine compartment build up, your flotation devices. Tail rotor, main rotor, and of course, you know, you got this right here. More stuff for the landing gear. And then your final assembly, which is right here. So, now, of course, in final assembly, you know, it shows you, you know, there's your launch mounts for the AS-12 missiles. This kit does not come with any weapons. There are no torpedoes, no AS-12 missiles, no SS-11 missiles with this kit. It is completely unarmed. Now, of course, they do have resin sets that you can buy for the weapons, but you're not going to have them in the kit. So that's a little bit of a disappointment right there. And then on the back right here, you got your paint schemes. And as I stated, color callouts on the front right here. So, but as I stated, 2 Royal Navy schemes, 1 Dutch Navy scheme, and 1 New Zealand scheme. So, so basically that's the whole kit in a nutshell. I'll go ahead and flip back over, and I'll tell you my final review on this. Oh, one more thing I failed to mention here. The kit comes in a plastic bag, so it doesn't come bouncing around in a box here. It comes in a plastic bag. You do have to be careful because from the looks of it right here, most of these gates, it looks like it's these 3 gates right here. They were shot together. So I'm assuming the gate was something kind of like this, or maybe with this flipped around. Looks like that might be correct either way. But anyway, this is supposed to be the full gate right here. They cut it right here so you fit the bag. So please, when you start construction with this kit, be very careful of drawing it out of the bag, because unfortunately where they cut the sprues at, that's where all your delicate parts are at. So you see all these little delicate parts hanging off the end of the sprue here, and especially on this one right here, It's on both sides. So you have to be very, very careful pulling this stuff out of the bag. Otherwise, you're going to snap these parts and you'll be frustrated. So, and then the same thing for this one right here. So be very, very careful when withdrawing the parts out of the bag, because you're not going to like it if you end up damaging the kit here. So there's that, and I will get back to with you on my final thought. Okay. So what do I think of this kit? Well, first of all, I forgot to go over LF models. Well, LF models, I don't think they've been around that often or that long. I know they've done a lot of resin stuff. They've done a few kits. Most of them are helicopters or smaller light aircraft. I think they've been around for about roughly maybe 10 years. I'm not sure. But anyway, they've been doing their own line of smaller aircraft. So this is the latest in their line. So what do I think? Well, keep it in mind, this is a limited production. You know, these are one of the smaller companies here, so, you know, don't expect the Hasegawa level of detail or anything like that. But with the level of detail in this kit is actually pretty nice. It's not bad at all. And, you know, there is some cleanup to do on the molds, but the detail looks pretty good for something of this size. The detail actually looks a little bit better than the Airfix Westland Scout kit. Now, being that there are some issues, the main issue being landing gear on this aircraft, and the difficulty it is going to be assembling because of the lack of pinholes to align your parts with, there is a difficulty skill in this. Another thing I failed to mention here too is you will see up on this kit here, there's your sight for the AS-11/AS-12 missiles right here. I failed to mention this, but on the clear parts, if I get it out right here, you see this is your roof for the Westland Scout. Anyway, your sighting is going to be mounted right about here. As you noticed, there's no hole, which means you will have to drill a hole in order to install the sight for the missile system. The sight is with the kit for the missile system is in the kit, so you don't need to worry about that. You just need to worry about getting the right size drill bit and drilling very, very carefully, making sure you don't crack the plastic, and mounting it so that it doesn't fall into the cockpit. So you've got that. I don't know if they ever measured the sighting to any type of a drill bit, so it might be a bit of trial and error. So you got that as well. I don't have the Airfix kit with me. I don't know if the Airfix kit's got the sight as well. I know the Airfix kit's been around for I think it's older than I am. That's kind of scary. But I don't know if the Airfix kit has the sight in it or not, whether you have to drill a hole for it if it does. So anyway, but here's the thing about it. Now you have two ways of getting this kit. Now I'll be honest with you, I haven't checked Air Graphic site for this right here. I did check the site to see if their Wasp kit was still available. Of course, it's no longer available. I did check to see if these are still available. I bought this a couple years ago, so you do have a choice up until the Freightdog kit comes out, which should be imminent. But there's still no information on when they're going to release it, except that they announced it to be earlier this month. So right now you have two choices of 72nd scale. You have a conversion kit you have to get from the UK, and you have an actual kit, which right now it's only available on their LF website. It cost me about, I think it's 26 pounds, which is about roughly $32 US per kit. I don't remember how much the Air Graphic conversion kit is. Freightdog announced that their kit is going to be around the 30-pound mark, which is about $37-38 US. So there is a price difference. Of course, Freightdog's claiming that their kit is going to be better detailed and all that, but you know, we won't know until we actually see it. So you do have a choice. You can actually build it, or you can sacrifice an old Airfix kit to build your Westland Wasp. Now, with that in mind, um, due to the difficulty it's going to be with getting the landing gear mounted, due to the fact that there's no weapons, uh, and of course the limited production run type of molds on here, the cleanup, stuff like that, I'm going to give it a 6.5, 7. It's a nice little kit. It will take some work, but it's not bad. I think it's actually going to be pretty good. But if you have limited experience with kits like this, then I'd suggest waiting till you have more time with these kind of kits before jumping into this one here, because there's an awful lot of small parts in here. And it's not just the landing gear as well. There's the mounting parts for the engines, which are just as delicate, and some other stuff that goes on the fuselage for the Wasp. So there's going to be a lot of careful assembly when it comes to this. Overall, though, this is a kit that I'd like to be able to build. Now, the decal selection, the marking selection is limited to just 3 markings. This is called Wasp ASW in International Service. So I'm kind of surprised that they threw Royal Navy markings in it with the other 2. However, if you're looking for something a bit more rarer, if you're looking for something, let's say, for instance, if you're looking for a Malaysian or Indonesian or South African Wasp, Air Graphic model does have a decal set for Scout and Wasp and military service. It's available on their website. I think it's about, I'm trying to remember the price on this. The price is pretty high. Something like 20, 30 pounds, something like that. I don't remember. So I got this a while back when I got the conversion kit. So, but at least on this decal sheet, basically it covers all the international operators of the Wasp and a lot of British versions as well. It's got the Brazilian naval version. For the Scout, it's got Kuwaiti, I believe it's got a Kuwaiti Scout on here. I can't see it right yet. It's got a Ugandan Police Scout. It's got a Jordanian Scout on it, and it's got mini Scouts from the British Army and Royal Marines. So if you don't want to stick with this, with the markings in this, there's always the decal sheet. However, I do believe that they may, I think they got a second boxing plan for this as well. I think the second boxing is mostly Royal Navy operators, but hopefully we'll make sure. There's one bit of disappointment for you Falkland War fans. The decal sheet, this don't have any markings for any of the aircraft involved in the attack on Santa Fe. I do believe either Extra Decal or Aztec, which have come out with extensive decal sheets for aircraft in the Falklands War. I think one of those might actually have those markings on a decal sheet. I don't know. I'll have to check and see. But on at least for the kit, there's no aircraft that actually flew missions in the Falklands War. The decal sheet, there are a couple of them on there. So, but yeah, I think it's a good kit. You will need experience from building it though, and you might have some issues with landing gear. So, anyway, if you have any questions, comments, complaints, gripes, anything of the sort, just go ahead and listen below. I'll get to them whenever I can. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. So anyway, we'll see you guys later on. Thanks.